Hello everyone and welcome back to Driven Media. Today, I have an enthusiast car that you may have never heard of. This is a 2021 Kia Forte GT. I know most of you clicked off the video by now because you heard me say Kia. Well, bear with me here. I'm going to go over all the things that I think make this thing an enthusiast car. We're going to drive it. I'm going to go over all the pros and cons, the features, and whether or not I think you should buy one. So what do you get with a GT that you don't with a regular Forte? Well, the biggest visible difference is these 18-inch wheels, which are only available on the Forte GT. And these are equipped with some really nice Pilot Sport 4s. Coming around to the back of the car, this does have an aftermarket spoiler. However, the stock GTs have a little lip spoiler right here, and then the other Forte models don't have one at all. And then you also get front and rear GT badges. Now, the biggest visible difference on the back of this car is the exhaust tips. The Forte GT comes with dual exhaust tips stock. This is a full X-Force catback exhaust system, which sounds a little bit like this. And of course, it adds the quad tips, which look way better. Under the hood, we have a 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder pushing 201 horsepower and 18 pounds of boost. While it does seem like it's a pretty small motor, it's pretty capable. Of course, this does have an aftermarket intake setup. I'm not sure what kind of difference it makes, but it is also running N75 Performance coil pack. Coming inside the car, we are greeted with a 6-speed manual. You could get these cars with the 6-speed manual or the 8-speed DCT with the paddles. This car was designed to be an automatic car, so the manuals in these are a little bit weird and really rare to come across. But it is still a whole lot of fun. You get an infotainment screen, which isn't big and in your face, which I do like. I don't like the big digital screens. You also get analog gauges, which I am a sucker for. You got the blind spot monitoring system, and you get lane keep assist. It's got cruise control, and it's got a sport mode. You also get the red stitching on the seats and the GT logo. You get a sunroof. This car is also equipped with a Harman Kardon sound system, which sounds like this. So now let's take it for a drive and see how it does with spirited driving and regular driving. like I said, this car is sitting on the lowering spring, so it's not on factory suspension. Factory suspension, I would say on handling, I would give the car a good 7 out of 10, and on these lowering springs, I will give it a 8 out of 10. This car does handle like it's on rails, which is kind of weird, because most people wouldn't expect something like that out of a Kia. I will say, if you're looking for a comfortable car for super long road trips, this car is not it. Kia, in my opinion, does not make a good, comfortable seat. The passenger seat of this car, within 45 minutes into a trip, I start hurting quite a bit. The driver's seat isn't so bad, but it is probably because it gets sat in more, so it's more worn in. But overall, they're not the most comfortable, especially this weird like leather outer side bolstering and then the cloth inserts. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Comfortability for around town, daily commute, it does its job, but this wouldn't be the car I would take on a road trip if I was after something comfortable. In 6th gear, when I go up a hill, it doesn't drop any speed. When I go down a hill, it holds its speed. So I really don't have to do anything if I'm not in traffic or on a back road. I would put this car in my top 10 for the most dailyable manual cars. A lot of people who own these say that they like the DCT over the manual, and I do agree that this car was kind of designed more for the automatic, but they put a manual in it to appeal to more enthusiasts, since it's an attempt at an enthusiast car. This clutch is a little worn, but new clutches in these cars, there's not really like a slip in them. It's either they're off or on, which took a lot of time getting used to. I will say I don't prefer driving this car on small city streets and stuff where there's tons of stop signs and tons of stoplights. The clutch in it is just that weird. It's not heavy, it's not uncomfortable at all. It just grabs really, really weirdly compared to a lot of cars. Now, I get that clutches in all cars are different, but I've never felt a clutch do what this one does. Like, it doesn't grab a normal way. This car also does turn quite a bit of heads. It's kind of odd that this many people turn around and look at a Kia, but it's a really sporty looking car, and it's a really good looking car, and it sounds fantastic. People just look at it and they're like, what is that? They think it's some high-end sports car. Now, what do I think makes it an enthusiast vehicle? I think the manual transmission paired with how well this car handles, how quickly the boost kicks in and how hard it kicks in, how light the car is, and how easy it is to modify, how much aftermarket support there is for it. I think it makes it a good platform for a car enthusiast. I'm cruising down the interstate. I'm pretty comfortable. I would say this car is a really good daily commuter car. It's also a blast to drive on the back roads. I've driven this car on the Dragon a couple times. I've driven this car 4.5 hours home from South Carolina, and this thing handles like it's on rails on the Dragon. It's amazing, and it's shocking. People really get surprised when they're in a sports car that is kind of more targeted towards a road like that, and they're having to pull over for you because the Kia is pushing them off. It's pretty funny to watch. And people hate on this car so much until they get a ride in it or they get to drive it, and it's really a different experience from what a lot of people know from Kia. The only cons I really give this car is the weird clutch, the really stiff seats that kind of tend to cause a little bit of pain after a short period of time, and a short period of time I say is probably about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. I'm not one who cares a whole lot about technology. I like analog cars. Heated seats don't make a car for me. A heated steering wheel doesn't make a car for me. Lane keep assist, I don't care about that. But I will say powered seats in this car really would have been a nice option. Now, a feature that I do think makes a little bit of sense, but is kind of dumb to me, is opening the sunroof makes the AC stop blowing as cold, which I kind of hate. I kind of like to have the sunroof tilted and also have cold AC. Even on stock suspension, a lot of Kias have this problem. They ride a little bit stiff and a little bit rough, so every bump, every pothole you feel. Overall, I do give this car a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10. These cars are gaining a lot more popularity. People are beginning to figure out what they are. They are beginning to realize what they're capable of. That you can get these in a stick shift, or if you want something with a DCT on a budget, you can also get one of these. The Elantra ends are the same way. You can get those in a 6-speed manual or a DCT. The Forte is discontinued as of last year, I think. It is replaced with a really, really horrendous looking car. I think this is a really good car. My buddy Britton has had this car for a year and a half now. It's given him no issues mechanically, nothing related to reliability. It's been a really strong car. We've taken it on several out-of-state trips, long trips, and it has held up great. Like I said, those trips would have been much better on some way more comfortable seats, which would have been really nice. Do I think you should buy one of these cars? If you're looking for a car that seats 5, you can get in a manual, makes easy power for relatively little money, especially including the car. These cars are not expensive at all. Brand new, the manuals costed an extra $1,000 to get, but if you're spending, you know, almost 30 grand on a car, $1,000 isn't gonna make that much of a difference. I think they're great cars. If I had the money, I would buy this one so that it didn't go to some person who's probably gonna beat it and destroy it. I'm a big fan. I would buy one. I'd say if you're looking for something along the lines of this is a good option. I also forgot to mention, this car weighs 2,800 pounds, so it's a pretty light car. Anyways, let's put some gas in it before we return it. That's going to wrap this video up. Let me know what you think down in the comments about this style of content. I kind of want to do some more of this. Stray away from just content on my 944. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Leave a like, subscribe if you want. I don't really care. I'll see you guys next time.